Ladies and gentlemen, the conversation we are currently having in this country is one that needs to be structured, because if it is left the way it is, then we are going to lose it and to go and to regret later that we missed the best opportunity to reclaim our country back to the track.
The next step that needs to be done is when the members of parliament report to parliament next week, the Gen Z needs to force those members to impeach the president. And any member of parliament who will not vote for impeachment of the president, they occupy their homes.
But that one aside, Saboti Member of Parliament Caleb Hamisi had a message to the President of the Republic of Kenya. And it is not a good news. It is a bad news. But the question that we are going to ask will form part of our analysis today. Before I proceed, this video I'm going to share is courtesy of Plug TV.
All towns, including Sugoi, including Eldoret, including Bomet, the president's home turf. It has never happened across the world that even where the president was born, people are on the streets. That is a clear vote of no confidence. What the president needs to do is to give the country the favor it deserves, just to resign. You don't need to take youths round corners. You just need to resign. That is a clear vote of no confidence. The next step that needs to be done is when the members of parliament report to parliament next week, the Gen Z needs to force those members to impeach the president. And any member of parliament who will not vote for impeachment of the president, they occupy their homes. That's the only way. This war must now turn to the members of parliament, and they force them. If I bring a vote of no confidence against the President William Ruto, I expect 349 members of parliament to support me. If they don't support me, then their homes are occupied. They need to force members of parliament to impeach the president. That's what we need to do. We don't need to put Gen Zs on the streets to be killed. When we have a national assembly to do what Gen Zs are supposed to do. The Gen Zs have given us a platform. Now what is remaining is for members of parliament to do the rest. Let us not put our children on the streets to be killed when we have members of parliament who have the responsibility to impeach the president.
After listening to Caleb Hamisi's message of impeaching the President William Samoei Ruto and his appeal to the young generation to help him compel members of parliament to back him up for his bid to impeach the president. Before we go into nitty-gritties of our discussion today, allow me to ask those who are coming across this channel for the first time that please take a moment, a minute or two, to subscribe to our channel. And to our subscribers, we want to say that we don't take your support for granted. And do not forget also to share your opinion on the comment section, because it is very important to give us information and to make us well informed on what we have out there. You know, I was sharing recently with some of my friends, and one of my elders told me something that I came to realize that it might be true, and many Kenyans have not realized this, that there is a trend in this country. After every 20 years, we must have some political changes on our political dimensions. And we went back to the memory lane, and we realized that after Mau Mau and Kenyans fought for independence for over 20 years, Then in 1963, Kenya became self-governed, and in later it became a republic in 1964. Then count with me, 20 years later, that is around 1982-83, there was another wave that changed political dimensions in this country. Then another 20 years, which culminated in the year 2002, 2003, there was another change in a political arena in this country. Then if you live from 2002 up to 2022-24 is another 20 years. And you can see how Kenyan politics is changing. And the ecosystem that we have currently is one that will take us for another 20 years for us to experience the same. That means that come 2042, 2048, 44, somewhere there, we might have another another change on our political arena. So these are trends that has been monitored over the years. Now let us embark to our first topic. Caleb Hamisi is saying that he is going to move a motion in parliament to impeach the president, William Samoei Ruto. But before, because sometimes these politicians may just make some political pronouncement that have no meaning and holds no water, that in reality cannot happen. Do you think that it is easy to impeach the president, or as it is alluded by Caleb Hamisi? If it is so, then let us look. What are the grounds on which the president can be impeached? Now, according to Article 149 of Kenyan Constitution, and I will read it under the impeachment bill in the National Assembly. This is what it says about the impeachment of the president. In part 2, procedure for removal from office by impeachment of president and deputy president. These are what should guide us to know whether the president can be impeached, should be impeached, or will be impeached. Now, number 1, the president may be removed from office by impeachment in accordance with Article 145 of the Constitution and the provisions of this Act. Pursuant to Article 145, subsection 1 of the Constitution, a member of the National Assembly, supported by at least a third of all the members, may move a motion for the impeachment of the president. A member of National Assembly supported by a third, that is around 340 something members of parliament currently as our parliament is constituted. That is the 2/3 of the members of the national, at least a third of the National Assembly. Now, on the ground of gross violation of a provision of the Constitution or of any other law. Has Ruto violated any constitution or any law? I don't know. Part B, where there are serious reasons for believing that the president has committed a crime under national or international law or for gross misconduct. Has president violated any law, international law, or committed any crime? We, at the moment, we can't say or we can't judge. Now, it is upon member who is planning or is willing to move the motion to convince the country and his fellow legislators that indeed he has enough grounds to impeach the president, then this member will talk to his fellows and he will forward the bill with together with the list of his colleagues who are in support of this motion to the clerk of the National Assembly. Then the clerk will share that motion with the Speaker of the National Assembly, and then the Speaker will scrutinize the allegation of this motion, and thereafter the Speaker of the National Assembly will also forward that motion to the Speaker of the Senate, and the procedure continues, and the Senate will have to form a committee which will investigate the allegation alleged by the member of the National Assembly. And if the Senate committee will indeed find these allegations that indeed are true, then they will move to the next step. And also the member who moved the motion of impeachment will also be called to take part by presentation, and the Senate will listen to him. And if his allegations will hold water, then the Senate will also call the president to also, or directly or by representative or a lawyer, to explain his case before the members of the Senate. And the president, in the meantime, will be carrying out his duties as usual. So I want to say that the conversation that is going around our country today is a conversation which is not merely for the Gen Zs as it is. These were just the pathfinders. They only set the stage for the conversation because they did not demand much from the state. What they demand is that their demands be listened to. What they ask from the state is that they want an enabling environment that will make them to create and to innovate, to help them prosper and to improve their living standard. Some of the things that the president has already done, there are some of the things that the Gen Zs and Kenyans are still demanding from the president to push a little further. Because when you talk about our national debt, when you talk about corruption, when you talk about these other public debts, we know that this is a big and a wider conversation that the executive alone will not engage and cannot engage. Funny enough is that even those who are telling us over the years that the president is doing his best and the president will change this country and the country is on the right track, now coming out to accept that indeed the country has not been moving in the right track, and that the mask that was shielding our face, the Gen Zs have unmasked it, and now we can see beyond today that indeed the country constituted as it is now, we need to do it better and to make some realignment so that we experience and to know our maximum potential as a country and as a people. Going forward, we want to say that now people are now grappling for this opportunity, because if it is not carefully managed, then the president might end up being a one-term president. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate for your time. Thank you, and may God bless you.